Hello everyone, and welcome to the Week 10 update for Strikeout. This week we had a pretty busy week here. We had Andy drop in quite a few UI elements, so we're going to show those off here in a second. We got the cameras adjusted in the battle spots so you can see the battle a little bit easier. I integrated the money and items that you can win at the end of a battle, both in the UI and in the functionality sense. I got the UIs fixed once again, so that's the pause menu and the in-game item menu. After the McGee fight, I have a bit of a cutscene to show what has been unlocked, as well as to tell you what's going on after that cutscene is done. Chris helped me figure out the elevator problem that I was having last week, which was quite nice to have functioning. He also helped me with the player moving to the proper location after a certain battle was finished. I added UI elements in order to determine how much damage the player is doing to the enemies and how much damage the enemies are doing to the players. I added quite a few attacks for the announcer, which is our main boss for the fight. And then I also worked on the camera movement and the cutscene for that. We had Rock Lee come in and drop in quite a few sound effects, both in like the UI and we have some talking elements, and he updated the prefabs. If you hover over buttons and they're making sounds, and it's really cool, so we're going to show those off here in a second as well. I have some dialogue after the announcer battle, as well as trying to fix a problem when I was trying to merge some things. Rockley went back in and got some more tweaks done for the UI and added some for the TV when you're doing the level select. And then we had Andy add some of the UI elements into the game itself, so we can take a look at that. I added some cheats for the player, and then I also added once the gate is unlocked, then the gate is going to stay unlocked unless you complete the level and return to the training area. So with all that out of the way, let's jump into the game. So you can hear the background music for Rock Lee. So we're going to start with the shop here in the corner. Make sure my camera catches up to me here. So we step onto it and it triggers some of the sound effects here. So these are what the UI that Andy is going for starts to look like. And if you hover over buttons, then you have some really nice sound effects here. And if you click on it, then it has a different sound effect, which is just really cool. And I can't wait to see this fully in action here. Alright, and then we're going to swing on over to the manager to look at another thing that Rock Lee helped create. So there's a nice little talking type of sound effect that's going on there. And if you hover over it, you have the same sound effect. It's just really cool. I really like it. Then we're going to come on over to the level select. I did end up cutting the second level, so that way we're just going to go from 1 to 3. So once you step onto the TV, it triggers a sound effect, and you can toggle between them, which is kind of cool. And if you currently, the Hall of Elite Players is locked since you have not completed the first level, so if you try to select it, nothing is going to happen. But once you select the level here, then we're going to jump into the concourse. So I'm going to pull up my cheat sheet here, wherever that went. There we go. Alright, so if we are walking around here, I'm going to go ahead and just walk through the whole level. So we're going to do our first teleport, which is going to take us to the keys, which is way up here as part of the... Whoops. I forgot that I tied that cheat key to the same button. We're going to teleport to the keys, which are located up here. So we're going to pick up the keys, and it's going to trigger this cutscene, which is just opening the gate and allowing you to access the McGee fight. So then once that's done, then we're going to come back to it. I want to show that we have the pause menu again working, which is really nice to have. Currently we have nothing in our inventory, so let's go pick this up. Sports drink. And now it should be in our inventory, and I think tab is also our quick access inventory, so that's kind of cool. So now we're going to go back to our starting location with that cheat. We're going to come down and do our boss fight here. And I've toned down the HP of each of our bosses, so that way I can get through them rather quickly, but I just want to show you what else is going on here. So we sweep into the attack here, and I believe Slider is going to be the weakness here. Yep, and you can see some of the UI elements there to demonstrate how much damage the enemy is taking. It's a little bit low, but you can see that right there. And here we have our experience system working. In this instance, we gained $156. We did not gain any items out of it, and all of our characters leveled up here, so we're going to just allocate these points very quickly. And then we're going to come back here. There we go, there's our cutscene here. So it's demonstrating that the elevator, the barrier is now gone. And then we have our dialogue to indicate what all is going on after that fight. So now, I believe E is my teleport? I think so. Nope. There we go. C, there we go. Alright, so we have teleported over here. So now we have some enemies that are following us, and if we step onto the elevator, then we have a nice little elevator cutscene. I added a bit of a backdrop so you can tell that you're moving versus not moving, and if you step out, now you're on the top floor. And I'm going to go back down. So you can go both ways with it, which is very cool. I'm glad that is functioning. And the enemies can't get past this barrier, so you're always safe when you go up and when you come down out of the elevator. So we're going to meander over to our announcer, and I think my hotkey for that is Q. There we go. I added some glass around here, and here is our announcer fight. So we have our opening cutscene here. We're doing some camera sweeps. Sort of like that. Added some dynamic lighting behind it there. And let's see. I added the cutscene, and we also have our UI here. Once we attack, you probably won't be able to see it behind the debug ball, but you can see how much damage they took there. And we will go ahead and kill our announcer here. So this is a bug. I'm going to be working on this, but you can also see that the items that we gained this time around is a sports drink. We also gained $378. So we're going to leave here. Nobody got to level up. I should be able to turn that off. And here we hit into our cutscene where the camera's just a little bit off. I need to shift that back over, but it's going to zoom out of the radio booth and down into the opening. Our manager also talks to you about how well you did in the fight and telling you to return to the training area and that you can see the next level that got unlocked. So we're going to return to the training, and now you have the option, and I think my player is a little bit off of the button, so I should go clean that up. I'm going to step on the button to trigger these effects again. But because you unlocked the level, it'll change it from a locked symbol to whatever symbol this is going to be once I build the level. So we're going to go into it, Hall of Elite Players, and then he'll tell you a little bit about what you're going for. And then once it loads into the level, nothing is built yet, but that is good that it is currently working. So that is the current state of the game. I sort of just played through the entire first level, and now if we were to jump over to the Trello board here, we have about a month left. This week I'm going to be working on the level design for the Hall of Elite Players, which should be level 2 instead of level 3. I'm also going to work on the Umpire as a boss, and the Babe, which would be Babe Ruth in this instance. And if anybody would like to jump in, I'm going to be doing quite a bit of modeling this week, so I could use some help in that instance of it. If anybody wants to do some writing for the level itself, that would be nice. If anybody wants to take a shot at the bosses, we can do that too. And I also have quite a few sound effects that I need some help with, and we have a start on the UI part of it, but I could also use some help to help split the load on that. So that is quite a mouthful, and also my weekly update for 9/27 for week 10 of Strikeout.